As counties continue to feel the effects of the cash crunch, Parliament is working on a bill to cap government borrowing that was pushing the country into a debt trap.
Majority Leader of the National Assembly, Aden Duale, has backed the draft legislation but proposed the ceiling be capped at 8 trillion shillings, up from the 6 trillion shillings proposed in an earlier version of that bill.
NTV's Lilian Kiari, however, reports that economists say the move is ill-advised and unsustainable.
Kenya's public debt has been spiraling up towards the 6 trillion mark. For every 100 shillings the country collects in tax revenue, it spends about 130 shillings to fund its budget needs. Parliament hopes a bill to cap the debt ceiling will mitigate the risk of uncontrolled borrowing.
Our debt and our revenue collections, we are not doing very well. What IMF says, the ratio must be 300%. So that if we are collecting more revenue, then we can borrow up to 300%. But again, IMF have issues with that. Our revenue projections are not very good.
The country's capacity to repay the loans has been impaired by failing revenue collection.
I think we have overborrowed. We should have stuck to the 50% that's provided in the PFM Act. But we have gone to 55%. So when this bill comes, I will support the either 7 or 8 trillion.
Duale argues that an increase of the debt limit is viable.
When we raise, the projection is also that the economy, because of the investment we have done in infrastructure and these other drivers of the economy, we expect the economy also to grow.
Economists have, however, dismissed the bill, saying that setting a specific figure to curb the borrowing, yet Kenya depends on the borrowed monies to plug the budget shortfall, is unsustainable.
That arbitrary cap of 6 trillion shillings, it is superfluous because we already passed 6 trillion shillings in February this year. So the justification for why new debt is required should be done when that debt report is presented to Parliament, so that the budget that then follows has taken into account all these issues about how much debt is required, what will be used, and how that debt will be serviced over the medium or longer term.
We should limit to a specific amount. Like if you want to borrow another 1 trillion, but give us the reasons what are you doing with the money.
Maisha ya mwananchi ya kawaida inaendelea kudidimia kwa sababu ya hiyo pesa inaenda juu. So maoni yangu ningeomba iende chini.
The accumulation of the public debt without clear investment returns has posed a risk of debt distress. The amendment of the Public Finance Management Act is thus set to give Kenyans comfort that their members of parliament are privy to what the government is borrowing and how the government intends to repay these debts. Lilian Kiarie, NTV, at Parliament Building.